and UMC. Yet again, no deal can be reached. We're looking into what happens next and what you are saying about it. Also, an alleged panhandler here accused of attacking a Las Cruces police officer. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom with the details. Also, a bloody standoff in Montana Vista now playing out in the courts. What we saw today, thanks to a sheriff's department robot?
Wake up.
Pope Francis telling you to wake up and listen to his new pop album. I'm not kidding. We'll have a sample of the album set to be released just in time for Christmas. Nicole, move over Justin Bieber.
Record temperatures at the airport today, but don't worry, cooler temperatures are on the way. Details in Storm Track weather.
It's all next on ABC 7 at 9. Get ready. You become part of the day's news right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley at Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Hello, everybody. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the CW. I'm Bob Harp. Today's top stories and what we've learned in the last few hours on a lot of them coming up in just a little bit. First, though, as always, a sneak peek at this warmer than usual September night. Storm tracker Nicole Gomez joins us. It's a little warm out there.
It is warm. We tied a record today at the airport of 97 degrees, which was initially set in 1994. But good news is we're expecting cooler temperatures. In the meantime, we're tracking clear skies out there right now. Our temperatures still in the 80s in El Paso and Las Cruces, but we'll talk about those current temperatures coming up in just a few minutes. Bob?
All right, thanks so much, Nicole. New at 9, El Paso Children's Hospital is pushing back against claims it's to blame for the failed negotiations. The hospital had the weekend to review University Medical Center's latest and final offer to save Children's, but by today at 12 noon, the deadline, the two hospitals, they were still at odds. ABC7's Ashley Rodriguez is live in our newsroom tonight to tell us all about it. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Bob. These negotiations have been going on for more than a week, with UMC sending its terms, then Children's sending back a counter offer. UMC and the county were not willing to extend another deadline. Children's had to accept UMC's terms as they were, or there'd be no deal. But Judge Veronica Escobar said today commissioners were waiting since 8:30 in the morning to hear something from Children's. She said they submitted a counter offer at 11:58, just 2 minutes before the deadline. The thing is, there's no more counter offers. This was Children's last chance, and as far as UMC was willing to go on concessions, this means Children's doesn't get more time to find a third party to help fortify its finances. This means the disagreement on how to save a bankrupt children's hospital will be decided before a judge.
I think the concessions that we made were very generous. You know, we came very close, but I think that they wanted a little too much, and so we now move on. We're going to continue with the litigation.
UMC's attorneys are gearing up full speed ahead for the litigation. They're very confident that they will prevail.
Children's, on the other hand, doesn't agree with what commissioners are telling the media. They said in a response today, El Paso Children's Hospital met every deadline the Commissioners Court and UMC set forth. Children's accepted UMC's Thursday offer based on their terms and deadlines. Children's is stunned by the latest developments from UMC. Bob, back to you.
All right, Ashley, thanks so much for that. Keeping us up to date. And folks at home, you seem to be stunned as well. Just a sample of the discussion we have coming up in just a few minutes. You at home, you're saying things like this on the KVIA.com Facebook page. Victoria, will this ever end? Noah, why am I not surprised? And Mario, is there still another deadline? Stay with us for much more of what you're saying coming up in just a little bit. Back to the headlines now. A policewoman in Las Cruces recovering tonight after she was beaten while on the job. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom working the story tonight. Police saying yesterday morning, 46-year-old Timothy Ray Allison charged at the officer and repeatedly punched her. Court documents that we got today show Allison even bit the woman.
He bit her 2 times in her forearm while he was struggling with her. He spit, from what I understand, multiple times on her face while he was struggling and fighting her.
The court documents state that the officer was trying to cite Allison for panhandling and trespassing at an auto shop at Solano and Amador. The officer says when Allison rushed in her direction, her taser would not go off. And that is when the officer says Allison attacked her and even went for her gun. A Las Cruces police spokesman says the officer has minor cuts and bruises thanks in part to a stranger pulling the man off of her. Also, some new developments today in the case of a former Border Patrol supervisor who was charged with trying to kill his estranged wife's boyfriend. Jurors today saw photos taken by a robot. Alberto Montelongo, he is accused of holding the couple hostage and shooting the boyfriend in the head. Montelongo's trial for attempted capital murder and family violence began today. Now, this is video from the scene in Montana Vista. ABC-7 brought you live coverage as the standoff happened in February of this year. That is when the sheriff's office says it sent in a robot to snap photos. Today in court, investigators told the jury those photos show Montelongo armed with a handgun holding his wife, Angelica Parra, hostage. They also testified other pictures showed Montelongo's car was parked near the home. Prosecutors say Montelongo later shot Jesus Rodriguez in the head. Rodriguez survived. Again, we are back in the courtroom tomorrow for the latest developments. Also new today, ABC-7 got the court records that show a Fort Bliss soldier just got 40 years in prison for the death of his 2-year-old daughter. Dartarius Brown was convicted of injury to a child for what happened inside these apartments near William Beaumont Army Medical Center. This is in September of last year. Graham's cousin told investigators Graham beat the girl with a belt because she soiled her diapers. The cousin said Graham then went back to playing video games and left the girl in her room unresponsive. ABC-7 also worked today to confirm the latest criminal charges against this former El Paso police officer. Well, those charges and the case dropped. Court records show Zake Rivera completed a pretrial diversion and surrendered his license to be an officer in Texas. Rivera was accused of taking part in a scheme to misuse money that was meant for police overtime. In 2011, you might remember, he was also cleared of sexual assault charges as well. Well, more news from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom crew tonight. We are one step closer to learning if the Secretary of State of New Mexico used campaign contributions to live it up at casinos. Tonight, the House committee in charge of the investigation now has access to $250,000 to hire an attorney in this investigation. Impeachment proceedings are underway as we speak in the Diana Duran case. Now, she is charged with fraud, embezzlement, and money laundering. A panel met at the state capitol today for the first time as part of these proceedings. Again, it'll cost $250,000 in legal bills so far. Duran allegedly funneled campaign contributions into personal bank accounts and then allegedly later withdrew a lot of money while frequenting casinos all across New Mexico. She says, though, she's not guilty. ABC-7 has live traffic coverage tonight thanks to our fine folks over at TxDOT. Here's a live look at I-10 and Americas. Looks pretty good out there, Nicole. The roads are dry because it's hot out there. It's not even humid, it's just warm.
I like that, though. I like
the
warm, non-humidity. That means dry air is in place, Bob, and it's going to be that way for the next few days. But I mentioned our high today, 97 degrees at the airport. It's fall, or is it?
Almost October, feels like July. I don't know.
Right, it's so hot. But yes, 97 was the high today at the El Paso International Airport. Just keep in mind, typically around this time of year, 84, that's where we should be around this time of year. So the record, we tied 97 degrees today, and July 17th, their average high is 95 degrees. Yes, it's almost October, but highs around the region today, 94 TRC, 95 Las Cruces, 95 Alamogordo. So it was hot throughout the entire region. It's warm out there right now in El Paso. We're at 83 degrees, 80 Las Cruces, 70s at the Pass, and upper 70s in Alamogordo. So clear skies, mild temperatures. It will remain that way for tonight. Tomorrow, another hot day. Now the weekend, that's when we'll start to see those changes. Now we're going to talk about the details and when we could expect more rain coming up in your full forecast. Bob?
Now that's some good Monday talk, the weekend, right? Hey, connect with us by using the name CU on the CW on the big 3 social media apps because we want to see you and what you have to say every night on ABC-7 at 9 on the CW. There you have it. You can also join us at KVIA.com on Facebook as well. And that is where our top story has you buzzing tonight. A frustrated county commissioner's court today saying no deal. And it's time to move on. That is what happened this afternoon after University Medical Center and El Paso Children's failed to make a deal. Remember, UMC says Children's owes it more than $100 million for staff and services it provides its neighbor. But Children's today said they are not to blame for the failed negotiation. So, Nicole, people talking tonight on the KVIA.com Facebook page about it.
Like George, who says, another deadline, this time for sure. Sure, new deadline will be next Wednesday at high noon. This will be absolutely, positively, and for sure be the last chance for Children's to do the right thing. No kinkies this time.
And for those of you who don't know, kinkies in Spanish is like putting your crossed fingers behind your back. Okay, had to clarify that. Mark tonight saying, why do we have Veronica Escobar? How much is she invested in this children's hospital? Get rid of her and sell Children's Hospital. And Rosala is saying, county commissioners and UMC are a bunch of bullies.
And Delia says, nothing good we El Pasoans can have. Since the beginning, when I saw it built, I said, wow, something good for El Paso. They had to mess it up. And Mike says, I thought this was to be decided on one way or the other last week. Who's responsible for dragging this on and on?
And Gil saying, love the hospital and what it does, but considering the corruption in the city and deficit drain, keeping the doors open will only further the corruption and financial deficit drain on the county.
And Sonia says, sadly, it's obviously not for the well-being of the children.
And Miguel tonight, whether the hospital stays open or not, taxpayers will foot the bill. The facility was built at taxpayer expense, so we already took a hit. And Nicole will ending it with this.
Taxpayers paying for the project through 2038, hashtag priceless.
Oh, you know what? I jumped the gun. There's one more. Patricia, not surprising. So what else is new? All right, what do you have to say about this? Join us on Facebook right now. Let us know. We definitely want to hear from you. Okay, you probably have a lot to say about this next story. After his historic visit to the U.S., Pope Francis, you ready? You wait for it. Pope Francis is now turning to music to help spread his message. His Holiness is releasing an album on November 27th. The Vatican approved the project, and it features hymns and excerpts from Pope Francis's sermons, while accompanied by music ranging from pop to rock. Well, the album is available for pre-order on iTunes along with an instant download of one of the songs. This one's titled Wake Up, Go Forward. Okay, you have to check this out because I have to admit it's not quite what I was expecting. Kind of sounded cool. Check it out.
Wake up. Wake up. This word speaks of a responsibility which the Lord gives you.
Yeah, has kind of a rock feel to it. I know when I first heard about this today, I was thinking more of, just a gospel type or something very church-like, if you will, your stereotypical type of music. But Nicole, this is really reaching out to a younger audience. The Pope has a great popularity, and now he's a rock star.
I like it.
I know, right?
I'm going to iTunes.
I'm going to go to iTunes as well. I don't know. It had some good beats to it. So,
I like it.
Hey, we're interested to know what you have to say about it. We'll post this on our Facebook page. Tell us, and then tomorrow night, we'll see you on the CW and what you have to say about the Pope being a rock star. And Nicole, here's a question for you. What story tonight are we working on that has Jose saying, too late, Bubba? And Ruby saying, not forgivable? Well, they're talking about an El Paso attorney making a clarification on a Facebook post made last week. And that's the one that really outraged veterans in the borderland and in the U.S. What he told ABC-7 today and what you're saying about what he's saying coming up. Also, it looks like there could be life on Mars after all. And I'm not talking Matt Damon in the Hollywood movie The Martian. No, no. For real. NASA announcing it could be for real. Nicole, how about that weather?
I'm tracking plenty of sunshine for the next few days, but the rain will return to the forecast and cooler temperatures. We'll take a look at the latest future track computer model and storm track weather.
This is ABC 7 at 9 on the CW. You don't just watch the news here. You are the news. We'll be right back.